Hello and welcome back to our bike packing tour around northern Spain. We're just leaving Alberracin after a couple of really lovely days here. Today we're heading to the city of Teruel, which is not all that far to the east of us, a little under 40 kilometers to be exact. Wanting to head across to the mountain range that runs parallel to the east coast. Once we hit that, we'll start heading north along the mountains. Right now we're just descending from this mountain range. All of a sudden we've left the mountains behind, and with them the forest. This long straight road goes pretty much all the way to Teruel. All of a sudden the temperatures have also risen. Makes such a difference being out of the forest and out of the mountains. It's about an hour and a half on this road. I don't know if you can see it, but on the other side of the road, just a little ahead of us, is Teruel International Airport.
This is the yang ride to balance out the yin of the beautiful rides we've done so far.
Yeah, just been cycling through a really big industrial estate on the outskirts of Teruel. Great, we're just starting to come into the city now. We've just got one night at a hotel here. This hotel, in fact. Thought we'd come out and explore Teruel this afternoon. That's because it's a Saturday afternoon, it's really busy in the main plaza here. One of the things Teruel's well known for is its mudéjar art, some of which has actually been recognised as UNESCO World Heritage. This Tower of San Pedro is one example of that. Next to the tower is this sarcophagus, which refers to a local 13th century legend called the Lovers of Teruel. Apparently the young couple died because of an impossible love affair, and their mummified bodies are preserved in this sarcophagus. This is the El Salvador Tower. There's actually 3 towers that are very similar in the city. And this is the cathedral, which is also in the mudéjar style. It was built in the 12th century. We're going to take a quick look inside before we check out what's going on over here. after all that fun. We're going to head back for a bit of a siesta. It's getting really hot now. Come back out later. This is the third and final tower in the Mudéjar style here. It comes with church attached and is called Saint-Martin. There's a small music festival going on here as well. It really is packed with people having fun this evening. End of day beer shot. Cheers.
Cheers.
We're off pretty early this morning. Hotel breakfast doesn't start until 9 a.m. We couldn't wait for that. So we're hoping we can stop in an open coffee shop before we leave the city. This is the first one we think may be open. It looked open, but it wasn't open for us. I suspect he may have been serving his mates who'd been up all night. Fancied a coffee before bed. Anyway, ahead of us is one of the sites that we didn't see yesterday. It's called the Aqueduct of the Arches, and it was actually built in the 16th century. Seems quite late to me, but there you go. Well, our quest for coffee and breakfast has completely failed. We had found a few places on Google that said they were open at this point in the morning, but they weren't. Today we're heading to a town called Rubiales de Mora, not to be confused with Mora de Rubiales, which is the next town along. We're just passing under the motorway that heads down to Valencia on the coast and up to Zaragoza in the north of us. The ride's about 60 kilometres today, and the first half of it is on this Via Verde. A whole network of these Via Verdes right across Spain. And they're bike paths that have been converted from old railway lines. They're usually really lovely to cycle on. A quick break and an alternative breakfast of a trail snack and some water. It's a while since we've cycled a significant off-road stretch. It's quite nice for a change. Yeah, the good thing about Via Verdes, especially if you're on a push bike, is that the gradients are very shallow. Of course, it was made for trains. Well, that's the end of the Via Verde, which also means we're pretty much halfway. There's a motorway service station, so we thought we would stop for a coffee. That feels better. I do quite miss it when I don't have a coffee first thing in the morning. We're on small roads for the rest of the way now. Does mean the second half should be quite a bit faster. Especially as a lot of it is downhill now. Route, as always, is a little bit windy on this leg of the journey. It's just really depended on where the accommodation is. This is Mora de Rubiales, where we're staying. Rubiales de Mora is another 15k or so down the road. I find it so strange the two names are so similar. It's really quite confusing. The last little downhill stretch before we hit the town. I'm grateful for that because I'm feeling quite tired today. Looks like another very nice town. We've got one night here, we're staying in a hotel. It's always good to see so many cafes and restaurants. I think we may well be back. Give us some lunch.
That's the hotel.
Wow, looks really nice. And assures me it was one of the cheaper options here. Well, we've checked in and showered and everything, and we're heading out for a bite to eat. We've come back down to this group of restaurants that we saw on the way in. Well, we had a really nice lunch, and apologies, I forgot to film it. Ben had a sandwich and I had a salad. Now we thought we'd take a little look around the town. Well, it's certainly another pretty little Spanish town. I really am amazed at just how pretty they all seem to be. It's quite a small town, and we're back at our hotel now. I think we're just going to have a bit of a siesta this afternoon. It's really hot already. Come back out when it's cooler again. Cheers.
Cheers.
Another town, another set
beer.
of beers in a beautiful little square. Because it's been so hot here, the water coming out of the taps was just really warm this morning. So we've been advised to fill our bottles up from this fountain. Apparently it's spring water, nice and cold, perfectly safe to drink.
Good.
We're pretty much ready to go. We've had quite a leisurely start today. We had a nice breakfast at the hotel. We had a chat with some other hotel guests who are also into cycling. It's been such a chilled start because we really don't have very far to go today. It's only 24 kilometres, which probably will only take us maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours. There is quite a lot of uphill, otherwise it would be a bit quicker. We've actually got steep climbs today and tomorrow, which is why Ben's planned fairly short distances for us. Oh, there's a fox crossing the road. Bushy white tip to its tail. How cool is that? Bit of a slog coming up here, isn't it? Even with the electric bikes. Yeah, starting to get some wonderful views though. I love it when the mountains in the distance are blue and purple. Time for a little breather in the shade of this barn. Nice long downhill stretch now. The place we're heading to today is called Linares de Mora. Quite sure if it's a big village or a small town. It is another one of the official pretty medieval villages or towns in Spain. I'm absolutely loving these views. We're not actually that high here. I think the peak of the mountain was only about 1,500 meters. The place name Linares comes from the word linas, which means flax field. I don't know if you can see, but a lot of the hillside is terraced. That's because flax was a major crop here. I'm always amazed by the extent of dry stone walling in places like this. Just the amount of effort that must have gone into creating them. That's Linares de Mora. It does look pretty. Well, we're a bit early to check into our Airbnb, so we thought we'd stop here for a coffee. Handily, it's a bakery too, so we can stock up. Never ceases to astonish me just how pretty these little towns and villages are, well, and the cities too. So much of this medieval architecture has survived. Once again, this place is just bursting with character. This is us.
Just getting ready to go out. And I realised I'd forgotten to show you the apartment, so here it is. Okay, ready?
Let's go.
We thought we'd just have a little stroll around the village or town and then go for a couple of beers. Get a nice view from the edge of town here. Well, we found the church, and just round here we can see the castle. Not sure how we get up to it though.
No. Oh well. Can't get up to the castle, we just have to go straight to the bar, eh?
Yeah, it's a shame that. Looking forward to a bit of history.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're on the road again. Today we're heading to the small town of Portel de Morella. It's probably about a 3.5 hour ride today. So middling distance for us, I guess. We did have an early start, but it was fairly civilized. We had breakfast and coffee. Being in an Airbnb helps with that because you don't have to wait for hotel opening hours. You can see we've been climbing fairly steeply for a while now. I guess that kind of goes with this mountainous territory. The signs on this lookout spot are all related to astronomy. Guess you must get good dark skies around here. Been nice and cool this morning, but I guess it won't last now the sun's getting up. Yes, naturally this landscape would be forested. They do graze cattle. I guess that keeps some of these areas a bit more open and grassy. Time to have a bit of fun going down these hills. This little town we're just coming into here is called Moscarella. We're just going to cycle up into the town and see if we can get ourselves a coffee. It's a happy moment when we find an open coffee shop. Get a really good view of the terracing on the mountainside from here. And they do still seem to farm a few of the wider terraces, the ones where they can get their tractors in. We actually weren't originally planning to stop in Portel de Morella. We put the extra stop in just to break up the journey. Account of, well, both the temperatures and also the amount of climb. Concerns relating to Ben's battery. According to Wikipedia, it's only got 155 inhabitants. Doesn't really sound like there's very much to see or do there. Nevertheless, I think it was definitely the right decision because it is starting to really get quite hot. Incidentally, we've been wondering what these fences are on our left. Our best guess is maybe they're against snowdrift. I don't know. None of these wind turbines are switched on at the moment, although there is a bit of a breeze. I guess they're getting sufficient energy from their solar panels at the moment. Quite impressed by the amount of renewable energy we've seen since we've been on this trip. Spain really seems to be rolling it out fast at the moment. I think that must be To Morella down there. It's bigger than you'd imagine for a town that only has 155 inhabitants. I guess it had more in the past. Like many Spanish towns, it's fairly depopulated.
This is it, eh?
This is it. Cheers.
We're quite excited because look what's in the sky. Some clouds. It was just getting so hot.
We're just packing up and getting ready to go, and it's still cloudy today. We've not had any rain as yet, but it is forecast for later on today. We opted to leave quite early this morning, despite it being a short ride today. Should take us less than 2 hours to get to Morella today. Even though it is forecast to rain later, it's also forecast to reach about 30 degrees by 11 a.m. It's just so much nicer cycling when it's a little bit cooler. They didn't start serving hotel breakfast until 9 a.m. and we just felt we couldn't wait that long. So we're looking forward to a nice coffee and breakfast when we arrive.
Feeling a bit sleepy this morning.
I'm very sleepy this morning.
We've rented an Airbnb in Morella. We're going to spend 3 nights and 2 full days there. We could definitely do with a rest day. As always, Ben will have to do a little bit of work and I'll need to do some video editing. That's the usual travel planning and washing of clothes and all that kind of stuff. We're just wondering if that's Morella we can see down there. You know, it's got a castle on top of a hill. I'm sure we're going to arrive way too early to be able to check in, but hey ho, I think it's worth it to cycle during the cooler hours of the day. We're only about 60 kilometers from the Mediterranean Sea here, and our intention is to follow the coastline northeast, hugging this mountain range till we get up to Girona. That's Morella up on the hill ahead of us. It's another medieval walled city, and the castle's right at the very top of the hill. We're just entering the city through one of the 6 gates in the medieval wall. I think our first job is to find an open cafe, have a bit of breakfast. Not quite 9 o'clock yet, so that might be a bit of a tall order. We'll see. Oh, those walls are imposing. It's clearly a coffee shop here, but it's closed, unfortunately.
Coffee time.
Observed.
Much needed, I would say.
As you saw, we did find an open coffee shop. It was a hotel. Had a really long breakfast, several cups of coffee. I'm just gonna see if we can check into our Airbnb now. Well, this is it. We're all checked in. It's a nice spacious apartment actually, right in the centre of the old town. We'll be really comfortable here for a few days. I guess I should show you a little bit more of the city. It's actually not very large, but it is very steep. I guess you could probably call this the High Street. Got most of the shops on it and a few bars. This beautiful Gothic church is called Santa Maria Maggiore. I'm going to have a look inside. Goodness, I can't believe how much gold there is on this altar. An obscene amount, actually. I'm going to have a little look and see if we can get into the castle. Seems this is as close as we can get. I think it's undergoing restoration at the moment. We do get a view out over the plains from here. Gosh, the land looks so dry, doesn't it? It did threaten rain the other day when we arrived, but didn't actually manage to rain. Not here anyway. One of the other gates in the city walls. The walls date from the 14th century, incidentally, which was when a lot of the city was built.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, that's it for this week. It's goodbye from Morella.
Bye.